UFC 315, Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena. These are going to be my full card predictions and breakdown. And this card overall, we got a lot of firefights. I'm excited to break it down. And especially in the main event, we got the casual striker versus grappler matchup. And I'm excited to give you guys my predictions. So let's jump into the first fight of the night. First fight of the night, we got Daniel Santos versus Yeong Lee. And in this one, I'm going Lee to get the win. I just think Lee's output is going to be too much for Santos. Yes, Santos, he's got solid kicks. He's a decent striker. But I'm not super impressed by him. I'm more impressed by Lee. I think Lee's going to come out very fast. He's going to put the pressure on Santos. He's going to be throwing a lot of punches. And I think his output is just going to be way more than Daniel Santos. I can see him out-grappling Daniel Santos in this one. Overall, I just think Lee's going to be the better fighter in there. And I think he's going to piece up Daniel Santos. Even in the first round, if it's a close matchup, I think the more the fight goes on, I think we'll see Lee take over. I just think his conditioning is going to be better. I think he's going to come in better shape. Lee, he's sitting at the plus 120 underdog. Daniel Santos is the minus 140 favorite. And on Tapology, this isn't the exact order. Like, the order of the fights isn't the same as it is on the UFC page. So this isn't the actual first fight of the night, but on Tapology, this is just how they have them listed, and I'm gonna give you my predictions based off of Tapology's order. So second fight of the night, Modestas Bukauskas versus Ian Cutelaba. And in this fight, I'm going Ian Cutelaba. Bukauskas, yes, he's got more range. He's longer than Cutelaba, but Bukauskas, he's got power. Both of these guys pack a punch. But Bukauskas, what I notice is he tends to sometimes bring that chin up. And I feel like I really saw it in his fight against Rafael. Not against Rafael. He absolutely dominated Rafael. But in his fight with Petrinio, you notice whenever he would open up and start throwing a lot of punches, he kind of brought his chin up. And I didn't really like seeing that. And for some reason, I can see Ian Cutelaba landing some type of, like, wild overhand left, like maybe an overhand right or a left hook. I just feel like Bukauskas is going to be open, and Ian Cutelaba packs a big punch. Cutelaba, he's going to have the range disadvantage in this one, but I think he's going to be able to get the win here. Cutelaba is an absolute dog. He comes to fight. And this guy is not backing down from Bukauskas. Bukauskas, he might try to use his range, but I see Cutelaba being able to land some big shots on him. So I'm going Ian Cutelaba to get the win here. Cutelaba is sitting at the minus 103. Bukauskas the minus 117. So we got a pretty even line on this one, but I'm going Ian Cutelaba to get the win. Next fight of the night, we got Navajo Stirling versus Erslan. In this fight, I'm going Navajo Stirling. I think he's just going to be the better overall fighter. His kickboxing going to be too much for Erslan. Erslan, he's all right. He can sit in there. Like, he might not get finished in this one. I can see it maybe going to a decision. But I do see Navajo Stirling being able to get it done. I think his leg kicks are going to be too much for Erslan. He's going to mix in his straight shots. And I see him busting up Erslan on the feet. Erslan, he's going to be trying to block the strikes, but I just don't think he's going to be able to get off his punches very well against Stirling. Stirling's going to have the reach advantage, height advantage, and I just see Stirling being able to get it done here. We got Navajo Stirling. He's sitting at the minus 310, and then Erslan is the plus 260 underdog. And yeah, I just see Navajo Stirling being able to get it done in this one. I think his striking is going to be too much for Erslan. Next fight of the night, we got Jessica Andrade versus Jasudavicius. And this might surprise some people, because I know a lot of people are on Jasudavicius in this one, but I'm going Jessica Andrade. I think Jessica Andrade's pressure is going to be too much for Jasudavicius. Yes, the grappling threat of Jasudavicius is going to be there, and I would say she's the better grappler out of the two for sure. But I don't know. I feel like Jessica Andrade still has decent takedown defense, and I can see her stopping the takedowns of Jasudavicius. And I see Jessica Andrade pressing the pace of this fight, being on the front foot. And I can see her busting up Jasudavicius on the feet. I see her landing big shots. And I think a lot of people are overlooking Jessica Andrade just because they're like, oh, she's out of her prime. But at the end of the day, she's only 33, and I think she's still got some gas left in that tank. And I think she's going to be able to get a finish in this fight. I see Jessica Andrade busting up Jasudavicius. Give me Jessica Andrade to get the finish in this one. The odds, we got Jessica Andrade sitting at the plus 250 underdog. Jasmine Jasudavicius sitting at the minus 300. And yeah, I don't know. Jasudavicius, yes, she's got good grappling. She's on a 4-fight win streak. But in my opinion, I think she freezes a little bit on the feet. And I think she's going to freeze in this one. And I see Andrade being able to crack her. Give me Andrade to get the win. Next fight, we got Mike Malott versus Charles Radtke. Mike Malott, he's got solid kickboxing. He likes throwing fast leg kicks, fast head kicks. He pretty much just likes throwing his kicks, and they come out like pistons. Then Charles Radtke, he's very tough. He's a very solid fighter. Yes, he's got the loss to Prates, but that aged pretty well. And he's a tough dude. He's got that dog in him, and he's not going to be backing down from Mike Malott. I see Charles Radtke pressing the pace of the fight, and I see him trying to press Mike Malott against the cage, use his striking, and be on the front foot very heavily. But I do think Mike Malott's going to be able to maintain his distance and bust up Charles Radtke on the feet. I see him mixing in a lot of leg kicks, and I think that's going to throw off Charles Radtke. And then I could even see Mike Malott coming up high with some head kicks. And I can see him catching Charles Radtke on the feet. I do think Mike Malott's going to get it done by decision because I don't see Charles Radtke going down in this fight. But I do see Mike Malott being able to win this fight by decision. Give me Mike Malott. The odds on this, we got Malott sitting at the minus 240 favorite. Charles Radtke, the plus 205 underdog. And I just think Mike Malott's kickboxing is a little slicker. I think he's a little slicker on the feet. I think he's a little more technical. I think he's a little quicker. So that's why I'm going Mike Malott to get the win. Next fight of the night, we got Marc-Andre Barriault versus Bruno Silva. And in this fight, it's kind of the battle of the journeymen. All right. We got two journeymen in this one. Barriault, he's on a 3-fight losing streak. Bruno Silva is on a 4-fight losing streak. And in this one, I think it's going to come down to grit and determination. And I do think Barriault has that in this. I think he's going to be just a little hungrier in there. I think Bruno Silva has a tendency to get slightly lazy. Yes, I know Barriault has not been looking the best. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. But I do think he's a little bit more tough than Bruno Silva. I think Bruno Silva could break in this fight. I don't see Barriault quitting. And I can see Bruno Silva quitting. Yes, Bruno Silva, he throws some decent strikes. And he was in the first round. This is going to be a close fight. So in the first round, we're going to be like, oh shit, Bruno Silva's really in this. But I think as the fight progresses and as the fight goes on, I see Barriault taking control of the fight. And I see Barriault winning a decision in this one. I just think Barriault's going to keep the pressure on Bruno Silva and win a unanimous decision. Bruno Silva is sitting at the plus 125 underdog. And Barriault's sitting at the minus 145 favorite. And in this one, I just see Barriault being a little tougher. He's got a little more dog in him. And I see him being able to get the win over Bruno Silva in this one. Next fight of the night, got a fucking lint flying in my face. We got Brad Katona versus Bekzat Almakhan. And I'm going Almakhan in this one. I think in his last fight against Umar Nurmagomedov, yes, we didn't see the best side of his grappling. We didn't see the good side of his defense. Umar Nurmagomedov was able to control him on the ground and get the fight down. But in the first round, Almakhan was able to drop Umar with a big overhand right. And Brad Katona, his striking is not on the same level as Almakhan. And I see Almakhan being able to piece him up on the feet. But I will say Brad Katona's got pretty solid grappling. So I'm slightly nervous because we haven't got to see Almakhan's grappling against like someone who's maybe not as good as Umar Nurmagomedov's grappling. But in this one, I think Almakhan's going to be able to get it done. I see him being able to bust up Brad Katona. Yes, Brad Katona is a good threat on the ground, and I can see him trying to clinch up against Almakhan in this one. I see him trying to push the fight against the cage and maybe grind him out. So we'll see. I think it's going to be an Almakhan win. I think he's just going to be able to piece up Brad Katona. I could see him maybe knocking out Brad Katona on the feet. So I'm going to go Almakhan to get the win in this one. In this fight, we got Brad Katona is sitting at the plus 155 underdog. Almakhan is sitting at the minus 180 favorite. And I do see him being able to get it done. I think he's a little bit slicker on the feet. Or not even a little bit. I think he's much slicker on the feet. I think he's going to be too fast for Brad Katona. Brad Katona is going to be trying to shoot for takedowns, but I don't fully see him being able to get it done. Give me Almakhan to get the win here. Now, next fight of the night, we got my guy Jose Aldo versus Zahabi. And in this fight, I'm going Jose Aldo. Personally, I think Jose Aldo's got a lot of speed. He's got great leg kicks. He throws a really nice left hook to the body. He mixes up his combos very well. And Zahabi, he obviously he's a very solid fighter, but in my opinion, I think he's slightly awkward on the feet. And I see Jose Aldo being able to pick him apart with the jab. I see him mixing up the combos and being able to touch up Zahabi. I don't see Zahabi being able to get this fight to the ground. I think Jose Aldo's takedown defense is going to be too good. Zahabi, I see him getting pieced up in this one. I think Jose Aldo's going to be cracking him on the feet, landing a lot of punches on him. And I'll say a decision win for Aldo. But yeah, I think Aldo's going to really look good in this fight. I see him piecing up Zahabi. The odds on this one, we got Aldo is sitting at the minus 215 favorite. Zahabi is sitting at the plus 185. Aldo, I think he's going to come out looking very fresh. In his last fight, he lost the split to Batista, who's a very good striker, who's very fast on his feet, and Aldo was able to sit in there with him. And then Zahabi, he got the unanimous decision win over Munoz, but Munoz, he's not on the. I don't think he's on the same level as my guy Aldo. I think Aldo's gonna come out there looking very sharp in this one, and I see him busting up Zahabi. Give me Aldo to get the win. Next fight of the night, we got Alexa Grasso versus Natalie Silva. In this fight, I'm going Natalie Silva. I think she's going to be too fast for Alexa Grasso. Natalie Silva throws very, very nice punches from range. She throws good kicks. And I see her piecing up Alexa Grasso. In my opinion, I don't think Alexa Grasso's that good. Yes, she got the win over Shevchenko somehow. I still am confused to this day how she did that. Personally, I don't think Alexa Grasso's the best fighter, and I see Natalie Silva dominating this fight. I think Natalie Silva's going to be piecing up Alexa Grasso on the feet, and I see her busting her up. And I can see Natalie Silva getting a finish in this one. So I'm going Natalie Silva. The odds on this, we got Alexa Grasso, the plus 185 underdog, and Silva is sitting at the minus 220 favorite. And I'm impressed with Natalie Silva lately. I think she looks very sharp on the feet. And I see her being able to stop the takedowns of Alexa Grasso. I do see Alexa Grasso trying to grind out a decision, trying to wrestle Silva. But I don't know. I think Silva's going to be able to bust her up in this fight. So I'm going Natalie Silva to get the win. Next fight of the night, we got Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot. In this fight, I'm going with Shevchenko. I do think Shevchenko's going to be able to get the win. I think she's going to be quicker than Manon Fiorot. Fiorot, yes, she's got solid striking. She's got decent takedown defense, but I don't know. She tends to drop her hand at times. She be dropping her hands after throwing punches. And I think Shevchenko's going to be able to land some shots on her. I can see Shevchenko landing some kicks. And I do think Shevchenko's wrestling is going to be better than Fiorot. I see her being able to get this fight to the ground. And I see Shevchenko winning a decision in this one. But yeah, I think Valentina Shevchenko still got that dog in her. I think she still got gas in the tank for sure. And I see her beating Fiorot in this one. I'm not super impressed by Manon Fiorot. Yes, she is a good fighter, but I don't think she is going to be able to get the win against Valentina Shevchenko. Shevchenko is sitting at the plus 145 underdog, and Fiorot is the favorite in this one, sitting at a minus 170. But I do think Shevchenko's going to be able to get it done. A lot of hype is around Fiorot, but I think Shevchenko still got it, and I think she's going to be able to win this fight. Now, we're on to the main event. Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena. So this is the grappler versus striker fight. We got Belal Muhammad, very durable. Got decent striking. I'll give him that. He's all right on the feet, but mainly he's a grappler. He likes taking the fight to the ground, taking control. In his last fight against Leon Edwards, we saw him control Leon for the majority of the fight, able to get the fight to the ground with ease. But I will say, Leon Edwards was able to reverse some positions at points. Jack Della Maddalena, very good striker, is coming off the win against Gilbert Burns, where he TKO'd him. And Gilbert Burns in that fight was able to take down Della Maddalena a couple times. And in this fight, I see Belal Muhammad getting the win. I see Belal Muhammad being able to take down Jack Della Maddalena with ease, I would say. And we haven't seen Della Maddalena in a 5-rounder, so we're going to really see where the conditioning lies. Belal Muhammad's been in there before in the 5-round fights. And I think Belal Muhammad's going to come in there looking in shape, ready to go. Yes, Jack Della Maddalena, he can strike. He's got a big advantage on the feet. And I can even see him being able to touch Belal and maybe hurt him at times. But I think Belal Muhammad, he don't quit. And he's not going down in this one. And I see him getting the win. I'm going Belal Muhammad to get this done by decision. I just think the grappling threat is going to be too much. I see him taking down Della Maddalena. Maddalena, I think he will have some success on the feet. Like, we'll see him cracking up Muhammad. But I think overall, Muhammad's going to be able to get the fight to the ground. And the odds, we got Belal Muhammad is sitting at the minus 220 favorite, whereas Maddalena is the plus 185 underdog. And I am excited for this fight. I think it's going to be a very good fight. But I'm going Belal Muhammad to get the win. I think he's going to be able to use that grappling and grind out a decision over Maddalena. And hey, in the future, I'm not saying Maddalena ain't going to be the champ. But in this fight, I don't think he becomes the champ. I think Belal Muhammad's going to retain that title and get the win here. So I'm going Belal Muhammad to get the win. So those are my full card predictions for UFC 315, Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena. Let me know what you guys think of my picks, and make sure you smash the like button, subscribe. Personally, I'm real excited for this card. And you guys tell me if my picks were shit. Tell me if they were great. Let me know down in the comments. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace.